Further to these videos. What they say, what they do. Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Catholic Church. Jehovah's Witnesses elder, Edward Pusey, sentenced to 14 years in prison. I was abused by Jehovah's Witnesses elder and I blame religion's rule. Jehovah's Witnesses response. With regards to supporting victims, the spokesperson said,
Elders strive to treat victims of child abuse with compassion, understanding, and kindness. The elders endeavor to listen carefully and empathetically to victims and to console them. Of course, victims and their families may decide to consult a mental health professional.
At the same time as this statement, this has been going on in 2 court cases against Watchtower, in New York. How to find this information. Daniel Owen v. Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York Incorporated et al. 62, Letter/Correspondence to Judge. Filed, October 28, 2024. Dear Judge Krause, we are writing in response to Defendant Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York's letter filed on October 25, 2024. Defendant asserts that plaintiff's deposition must take place in New York City, rather than the county in which plaintiff lives or via secure video link. This dispute arose in the context of scheduling a plaintiff deposition in another case, Grape v. Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York Incorporated et al., index number 511806/2021. In that case, which involves the same perpetrator and 2 of the same institutional defendants, plaintiff proposed that the parties coordinate the depositions of Pearl Grape and Daniel Owen to both take place the same week in Rochester, New York near the plaintiff's homes. Plaintiff's counsel explained to defendant's counsel that it is a hardship for Miss Grape to take off days of work to travel to New York City, and that plaintiff in this case has a serious medical health condition that makes travel difficult. Despite explaining these hardships, defendant has insisted that both plaintiff's depositions take place at the K&L Gates office in Manhattan, on the basis that the cases are venued in New York City. Defendant now cites to several cases that are inapplicable or entirely unsupportive of its position. Defendant relies on LaRusso v. Brookstone Incorporated for its argument that plaintiff would not suffer undue hardship from a deposition in New York City. However, this case involved a deposition for a large corporation, Brookstone Incorporated, not a single individual, let alone a victim of child sex abuse. Defendant also relies on Schlang v. Manhattan Eye, Ear, and Throat Hosp et al. But this case is inapplicable as it involves a proposed deposition in Vienna, Austria for an action pending in New York State. Finally, defendant cites to Jones v. MEML Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, for the proposition that a deposition will generally occur within the county where the action is pending. However, in that case, the court ordered that the deposition at issue could take place in another county, specifically, the county where the deponent was located, 350 miles from the county where the action was pending. The court held that there was more prejudice risked by the deponent's travel than by the opposing side going to a deposition in a county other than the one where the action was venued. Here, plaintiff has health issues that would interfere with his ability to travel down to Manhattan. Also, as a victim of sex abuse, he will already suffer re-traumatization at the deposition about his abuse, and traveling far from home will exacerbate this distress. Defendant, on the other hand, has not cited to any prejudice that it would suffer, relying solely on the argument that its attorneys will be inconvenienced by going upstate. Per the reasoning of the Jones Court, the prejudice to plaintiff if he is forced to travel outweighs any inconvenience from travel on the defendant's side. Moreover, if defendant is concerned about the inconvenience of coordinating plaintiff depositions near their homes as proposed, the Jones court noted that the parties should consider conducting the deposition via secure video link. Plaintiff here suggested this alternative to defendant several times, but defendant refuses to consider a virtual deposition and has not offered any proper justification for this refusal. All parties can avoid inconvenience and hardship by proceeding with plaintiff's depositions via a remote deposition. Accordingly, plaintiff respectfully requests that the court resolve this dispute by ordering plaintiff's deposition to take place in Rochester, New York or via remote secure video link. By doing so, this court will properly reject defendant's improper attempts to unduly burden and create an unnecessary hardship on plaintiff, who is a victim of child sex abuse with long-lasting trauma and serious medical health issues that make travel for a deposition difficult.